Hey YouTubers, let me just check my level here. Make sure I'm okay. Make sure I'm okay. Audio, yes, that's good. We are good, we are good. Hey YouTubers, this is Jacques Gaines from Jacques Gaines Photography. Hey, I don't even have my teaser. Yeah, I have my teaser there. This is Jacques Gaines from Jacques Gaines Photography. Today I'm going to be talking to you about the Panasonic. No, the Panasonic. Why did I just say Panasonic? It's too funny. I'm here to talk to you guys about the G7X Mark III, the rumored specs, and what it's going to be like, and whether it is worth it to get it or not. I think it might be. I think everyone should have a G7X in their arsenal. I'm telling you, it really is worth it. But first, let me tell you guys that Jacques Gaines Photography isn't only about getting the shot, it's about the journey getting there. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, and do all kinds of stuff that shows the love for me. Show the love for me, show the love. That's so funny. My dad used to say that, show the love, show the love, show the love. So, listen, I'm not going to go nuts on this. I don't want to tell you guys this is what the camera's going to be like. And I just want to tell you right away, my sources are straight out of CanonRumors. This is the list I went by to find out what I wanted to talk to you about. And I also wanted to talk a bit about the little fake photo that came out a little while back. This photo right here came out of what the G7X Mark III was going to look like. It was more rounded out. So believe it or not, Photo Rumors and a couple of other places actually started speculating on what the camera would look like. But listen, whoever did do the hoax, kudos, man, because you did some nice designing here, some nice 3D design. I mean, it looks like a great camera. Too funny, but here it is. It was confirmed to be a fake. And there you go. So that is the case. CanonRumors, I think, confirmed that it was a fake, and it was definitely not the actual image of the camera and what it was going to be like. Now, before I start talking about the specs, I want to talk to you about the actual camera itself, and it is the G7X Mark II. Now, this camera is a couple of things. First of all, spoiler alert for me, it is one of the grand, I know this is hectic, but it's the way it is. It's one of my grand discoveries in photography in general, not only in the last 2 years or 3 years. It has ended up being, to me, one of the cameras I use a lot. So much so that sometimes I feel kind of guilty that I'm not using my bigger gear, because I really like this camera for a lot of reasons. The G7X Mark II is portable. It also, I don't know if you can see it here, but it also flips up. I'm a YouTuber, so I can do selfie stuff. It's light. The quality, the image quality on this thing on a 1-inch sensor, to me, is bar none one of the best cameras out there. And this is from an owner of several 1-inch sensor cameras. It is outstanding and incredible. The optics on this camera is amazing. The video quality on it is great. Apparently, the actual engine that generates the images you see with this camera is the Canon EOS engine. So a lot of the stuff from the 80D, 70D has been brought down into that camera. Unfortunately, one of the big things that would have been nice that they bring down was the dual pixel autofocus, but they did not. It's one of the faults of the camera. But you can pocket this thing. It's a great street photography camera. The raw files you get out of it, you're gonna freak. You're gonna freak. Actually, I think I have a couple of shots, some sample shots I took. This a couple of images I took in New York. The dynamic range on this small sensor camera is just, it's stunning. It's unbelievable. So I don't want to go on too much. I'm going to sound like I'm trying to sell you this camera, and I'm not trying to sell you the camera. I mean, you guys buy what you want, go with your workflow, but it is one of the best pocketable cameras out there. I own the X100F by Fuji, and I realized that X100F is amazing in its right, but it was a bit larger, and I sat there with the X100F and the Canon G7X. And believe it or not, I decided to sell the X100F and keep that G7X to take care of that street photography pocketable camera that I always have on me at all times. Now, that's not to say that it's better than the G7X, but just in my case, it was a good thing to do. So let me just show you a couple of charts. Now, I think this is the, okay, no, that's the actual camera menu. We're looking in the camera. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about that quickly, about the G7X Mark II. If you start looking at the actual settings and what you can do in this camera, you will be surprised as well. I mean, you can do all kinds of different stuff that you can do. The menu is very similar to anyone working with an EOS camera. So if you're thinking of getting a smaller camera and you already have some EOS stuff, or even a 5D Mark IV or Mark II, Mark III, this is a great camera to have. The menu is very similar. I just wanted to show that to you guys a bit. You have right here a very selectable way of working with, you have a focus ring on the front. I don't know if I can show you that on the front of the camera. You have a focus ring. You can decide what sort of stuff that focus ring does. It's very well laid out and very well made. It also has a touch screen, so when you touch, when a camera is so small, you just need that touch screen. It helps a lot to be able to access a lot of the functions. It has face detection, AF tracking, a lot of stuff, a very feature-rich camera. What does it not have? And that's what we're going to talk about right now. So I just put together just a small list so you guys can see what is going on with this camera in terms of what it has. Really quick, the sensor is a 20 megapixel sensor. This is on the G7X Mark II, guys. I want to go through it quick so we can know where we're going with the Mark III. The sensor photo detectors, okay, so there's 21 megapixels. The sensor size is 1 inch, and it's the Digic 7, okay? On the photo features, you got optical image stabilization on this thing, raw photo, like I just showed you, the 24 to 100, f1.8 to 2.8. So you're talking about very open up lens. Now, there's no dual pixel autofocus articulating screen, 1.04 million dots. There is no EVF on this camera though. 8 frames per second when you start shooting in burst. And it's got a 3-inch articulating screen, which I can tell you right now is second to none. The touch, the sensitivity is absolutely amazing. It really is a great articulating screen. You know, it's virtually a bugless camera. Everything about it is fantastic. The video features, you got 1080p up to 60p if you're in MP4. You have MPEG-4 format or H.264 if you want to go into higher quality. Wireless and NFC Bluetooth. There is no GPS. So I mentioned the GPS. For me, it means nothing, but I think for a lot of travelers, GPS might be something they might like. And the fact the camera has such a small form factor, you might want to have GPS when you do travel. So there it is. I just wanted to mention that to me, the G7X is just, it's a great camera. It really is. It's a great small camera, feature rich, does a lot of stuff. Now, what are you going to be comparing it with? You're going to be comparing it right away with the RX100 Mark VI by Sony. And right away, I think that Sony, in a lot of the features, a lot of the specs that it has, you're going to have a lot more, probably a lot more than this, but we're talking about a different price. We're talking about what delivers for what you want. Make sure you evaluate your workflow before you go out and buy any camera. The RX100 Mark IV might have a lot of great specs that you might be impressed with, but remember, you have to use them for them to be worth it. Now, let's look at the G7X Mark III and what has been added. Everything in italic has been added. Now, these are the specs I have so far from CanonRumors. Here we go. Let me just go here and show you. On CanonRumors, these are the leak specs so far on the Mark III, and this is what we have so far. So that's all I want to talk about right now. So here is what is added. We're going to move up in megapixels from 21 to 24.1. 1-inch sensor stays the same. To me, that changes nothing in the sense that if the optics suck, I mean, you can have 50 megapixels, but if that sensor is behind a crappy lens, you have a really high resolution crappy picture. That's what it boils down to. The frame rate has gone up. So you're at 10 frames per second, which is fantastic. So the G7X Mark III will give you higher frame rate if you want to use burst frame rate. I should have italicized Digic 8 because the processor is changing, going up to the Digic 8. The optical zoom will not change. It will be 24 to 100 millimeters, f1.8 to 2.8. So a lot of stuff relatively unchanged. 3-inch articulating screen, same. I believe that's going to be the same as well. Here's where we go into Canon, to me, basically reacting to what Sony's been doing and actually looking at Sony. And this is pretty freaked out because this is Canon going, oh, Sony did that? Let's do that. So we're watching one of the big boys, like what I like to call the big boys, copying the guy that just got in and moved in there. So 4K video at 30 frames per second on a miniature camera like this. I'm not going to tell you guys I'm super amazed by it because, as you all well know, Sony and the RX100 line and all the other lines have had 4K for quite a while. What I do believe, though, is that Canon, whenever they do implement something, it is relatively bugless. Therefore, I think their 4K is going to work really good. I don't know about the RX100 Mark VI, how it's doing. I know some of the other Sony models in 4K could not film too long, or even in 1080 they had overheating problems. So I do not want to say that the Sonys have bad heating problems. I just want to tell you guys that I think personally that when there's going to be 4K on this camera, it's probably going to work, and it's going to work very well, probably to the 30-minute limit because of the European tax. So that's all I wanted to say. A 1080p video at 60 frames per second. That is normal. Built-in Wi-Fi, NFC, and GPS. So all those people who travel, the G7X Mark III might be interesting due to the fact you will be able to take your shot and know where you are in the world. Announcement, when will it be announced? And I think it is in 2018, most likely at Photokina. Therefore, that's it. The other things I also wanted to show was that they also mentioned here at CanonRumors that there was no mention about DPAF for 4K video. DPAF is dual pixel autofocus. It is the autofocus that has been miraculous for all Canon EOS people. Anyone who works with Canon EOS will know that dual pixel autofocus is just miraculous. It's absolutely amazing. When you do video, the continuous focus is amazing. When you do photo, it's as if it's thinking and it knows what you want to do next. So it would be nice. I personally think if that occurred, I might even consider getting this camera, because the dual pixel thing was a problem I had a lot when I blog with this. It doesn't catch focus right away, but it does a great job. Both cameras are excellent. The G7X Mark II is amazing. This leaked specs of the G7X Mark III is absolutely amazing. I think anyone should go out there and get a G7X, period. Whether it should be the Mark I, which probably discontinued, the Mark II, or the Mark III is up to you. Do you value the 4K? Do you want to have that GPS? And those types of things are things you have to ask yourself when you're looking at what you want to do here. Now, the other thing is the burst rate on a small camera like that. Will it change? Will it be that much of an upgrade? Do you want more megapixels? Those who crop, that might be an interesting thing to do for you. So that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to talk about the leak specs and what I thought of them, and I just wanted to mention that no matter which camera you do buy, I really think that if you get the G7X Mark II or III, you're going to get some fantastic, stunning, stunning, stunning photos. Remember that JGP is all about getting the shot, but it is also about the journey getting there. If you guys can, please like, subscribe, share, and do not forget, everybody, Keep on making something from nothing.